I really want this bill to pass. I think it's an important bill for women's health, and I think it's an important bill for people considering abortion. I think it'll help them make the right decision.
Dr. Marjorie DeBenedictis, the spokesperson of the Esperanza Project, would like to see Bill 54, the Women's Reproductive Health Information Act of 2009, make it to the legislature floor and have the senators vote on it. She says this bill is about human life. DeBenedictis says the Esperanza Project is a grassroots group that feels abortion on Guam is all too common. She says once a woman gets an abortion, they will feel regret. This bill gives a woman a 24-hour window to think about her decision.
I think it will. I have talked to a few ladies who've had abortion, and they have said that if they'd had time to think about it, they would have done differently.
DeBenedictis wants to make it clear that this is not an anti-abortion bill.
It's about proper informed consent. Women need to know that if they have an abortion, they are at risk for certain consequences such as an increased risk of breast cancer, increased risk of preterm labor and later pregnancies, increased risk of depression and sleep disturbances.
DeBenedictis says she looks at this bill both medically and ethically.
Like a lot of people in Guam, I'm religious, but I approach this from a purely atheistic point of view. Every human being should have a chance at life. There's no reason for a person to take another person's life, except in cases of self-defense, but a fetus, you're not defending yourself against a fetus when you take its life. So it's wrong to take the life of another human being, period.
DeBenedictis feels that the legislature is hiding this bill and the senators don't want to vote on it. She says the 30th legislature is coming to an end, and if this bill doesn't get passed before January, it will die.
What Dr. DeBenedictis is saying is that we hijacked this bill.
Chair on Rules, Senator Rory Espicio, disagrees.
We've learned that that bill may be unconstitutional. And so what the Committee on Rules did then was to make a motion which was passed unanimously. There was no objections, and every single member voted for this to bring the bill back to the Committee on Health.
Oversight Chair of Health, Senator Frank Uggan, was unavailable for a TV interview, but during a telephone conversation, he says he sent a letter to the Attorney General asking for his legal opinion based on the existing federal law using the case of Roe versus Wade and how it applies here. But DeBenedictis doesn't understand why the AG got involved with this legislation. Respicio says it's not uncommon for the Attorney General to assist the legislature.
As you know, the Attorney General Mtiaco, former AG, she was the one who drafted the sexting bill, the anti-bullying bill, cyberbullying for Vice Speaker Cruz, and she's also the one, or that office is the one that's currently reviewing Bill 190, which is the Indigenous Fishing Rights Bill. So we've always, as best we can, as much as we can, and to the extent we can, engage the Attorney General's office to assist the legislature in these kinds of things.
Respicio says it's important to find out if this bill is constitutional or not.
This bill calls for a 24-hour waiting period. This bill calls for showing the video of an abortion procedure to the woman. This bill calls for asking that if the father of the child can be identified, that they have to also sign off that they cannot provide the means for this child. I mean, there's a whole litany of things that have to occur in order for this procedure to occur.
Respicio says some people may argue that this bill is unconstitutional because it may set up additional barriers for a woman to exercise her constitutional right and the choice she may have to make. He says the bill is with the AG because we need to answer all those questions before the legislature can move forward. David Macaluso, PNC News.